What's up guys, it's Robert from thecashyourmind.com, and today's video is going to cover something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while. Today we're going to discuss the top 7 debt traps that you should avoid at all costs, and I really do mean all costs. These ways are terrible. You spend so much money in interest on some of these that it just makes it ridiculous, and anybody in their right mind wouldn't do this. Anybody that knows a little bit about finance wouldn't do this, but some of you are still doing it, and I really advise you to stop. You'll save thousands of dollars that you could be spending into investing into your future or into purchasing other things like investing in my personal finance book that is linked in the description. Had to plug myself right there. But this video is crucial for people to watch if you or anyone you know are struggling with getting loans, if you're somebody that doesn't have the best credit score, or if you aren't 100% aware of the schemes that some finance companies try and pull on you to con you out of your hard-earned money. This video is all about debt traps, and if you don't know what a debt trap is, I'm going to tell you. A debt trap is defined as a situation in which debt is difficult or impossible to repay, typically because high interest payments prevent repayment of the principal. So it's essentially you borrowing $100 and having to pay $200 back. It's ridiculous how much money some people are spending on borrowing, on using their credit, and I just feel so bad for people that do, because you could do so much. You could do so much more for yourself by doing literally anything else. So a little bit of background: if you don't have good credit, you're going to have a hard time going to the traditional bank and getting a loan because they might not think that you're going to pay back the loan. If you have a history of making delinquent payments, if you haven't made payments in the past, or you don't have any credit at all, a bank doesn't know that you're going to pay them back. Even if you say, "Oh, I'm going to pay them back," well, they don't know that. That's why we have credit scores. And essentially, the bank's not going to trust you, and you'll be forced to go to some loan shark in the mafia, or even worse, some shady loan business that charges you 200% interest on $100 worth of loan, which anyone should know that's not a smart thing to do with your money, and yet people still use these companies and pay an ungodly amount in interest that they otherwise wouldn't if they spent more time fixing their credit and being financially responsible and shopped around for different loans at different banks, and were just better all around in their finances. I'm very, very passionate about you getting the most bang for your buck. So please do not fall into these debt traps. But before I get to the first debt trap, please make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really helps with the growth of the channel. Please make sure to subscribe to me as well, and turn on the notification bell so you'll never miss a beat when I upload new content. First debt trap that I want to go over are rent-to-own products. Whether it's furniture, electronics, or anything of the sort, rent-to-own companies allow you to make weekly payments for an item over the course of time. And then, after you finish making all the payments, you get to keep the product. Sounds pretty cool, right? It seems like you could just rent stuff to own. It's like $20 a week to rent a couch or something like that. But there are two really big problems with this. The biggest problem is that when you add up all of the payments, you end up spending several times what the fair market value of the item is worth. You'll be much better off just saving your money to make the purchase, rather than having it right now in your living room and making it cost over triple or quadruple what the price would be if you bought it outright. It's an unnecessary waste of money, and it is so wasteful. And if you're currently doing it, stop it as soon as you can. Finish those payments, cut them off. I know places like Aaron's is one of them that does it, and I don't know any other ones because I don't do it, and I don't know anybody that's done it. The second thing that is crucial to know about rent-to-own products is that if you miss a payment, if you're even one day late on a payment, the store is going to take back the item, and you forfeit any of the money that you paid for that item. No matter how much you've already paid for it, they're going to take it back, making it a total waste of money, and everything you paid up until that point is gone, and you have nothing to show for it. And if you're hard on funds at some point during the agreement, it's just terrible. Just don't do it. Just stay away from them. Save your money and buy the item when you can afford it. Okay? You can live without a couch. Just sit on the floor. You're fine. The second debt trap that you should know about are pawn shop loans. A pawn shop will essentially give you a small loan around 10 to 50%. I've rarely ever seen the 50% part. Mostly around 10% of what an item is worth, with the pawn shop holding on to that item as collateral. The interest rates on these sort of loans are astronomically high, and if you don't make the payment, the business is going to sell your item. So if you have a $1,000 camera and they'll give you $100 for it, and if you don't pay back the loan, they're going to sell that camera for like a lot more money, obviously, than what they gave you for it. So stay away from pawn shop loans. They're really, really bad, and the interest rate is just not even worth it. Number 3 on this list, this is one I'm very, 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 very against, and it is called credit repair. Nobody in the credit repair business can do what you can't do yourself. Any place that tells you they can boost your credit by 300 points in a month is most likely scamming you. Credit scores are so simple. They're just a number. It's just a randomly calculated number. Well, it's not random. It's just a random number that tells banks how trustworthy you are with borrowing credit. And the best way to boost your credit is just to make payments on time, pay off your loans on time, don't max out your credit cards. That's it. That's all it takes is to get good credit. So any place that's saying, oh, we can boost your credit by 500 points in a month, they're lying to you, and they just want your money, and you can do it for yourself for free. They're not going to just magically change your credit score overnight. It's not like that. It takes a history of using your credit wisely, using credit to the best of your ability, and making payments. The biggest thing is just to make your payments on time, guys. That's all. Just make your payments on time. Don't max out your credit cards. Pay off the balance every single month. Every single month you should be paying off the balance for your credit card. You shouldn't, if you're spending too much and you're maxing out your credit cards, you need to really evaluate your budget and see what you can spend less money on, because you're paying so much money in interest when you could be paying $0 on your credit card. Another really big debt trap that I've seen time and time again is mortgage refinancing. When rates are low, it's definitely tempting to refinance your home. Your monthly payments are going to go down. You'll have some extra cash each month. You'll be able to go on a vacation, or I don't know what the people's thinking is, but yes and no. You should keep in mind that only people with the best rates are going to qualify, or with the best credit, are going to qualify for the lowest rates. And even if you do qualify for a low rate, there's still tons of extra costs to consider, such as, do you want to sign up for another 30 years of mortgage payments? No, the answer is you don't. You don't want to do that. There's also additional costs for refinancing your home. They can be super expensive. So stop thinking of your home as some sort of magical ATM machine. Seriously, I've heard people say that. It's like an ATM machine. I can just go and refinance it and I'll have to pay less. And no, it's just not what you want to do. The purpose of a 30-year mortgage is to have it paid off so you can retire with reduced expenses and live off of whatever you have in your retirement. Borrowing from your home is just going to keep you in debt longer. You'll have to pay more money in insurance, and it's all around not a good time. And the next one on the list is going to be payday loans. Gosh, payday loans are so expensive. Honestly, this is in the thumbnail probably. This is the worst. So this is the worst. This is the worst on the whole entire list. They're essentially just high cost credit. Say you're going to borrow $200 from a payday loan place, and you write a personal check to the lender for $240 in 2 weeks. And when it's your payday, the loan place will either deposit your check or you pay a fee to extend the loan. And some people do this like 2 or 3 times over. And by the end of it, you're paying $120 to borrow $200, right? So you're $320 out of pocket when you shouldn't be. It's insanely high. And so on this list, I'm saying it right now, this is the worst possible debt trap that you can get yourself into. Another loan in this realm are going to be car title loans. These loans can have upwards of 200% interest rates, which are insanely high. Essentially, the company is going to give you a value on your car, obviously less than what the Kelley Blue Book price or any price on your car would be, and they're going to give you a time period to pay it back. And if you don't pay it back, or you're even 1 day late on your payment, the car title loan place actually has the title of your car. It's part of like the agreement, and they can repossess your car, and you don't have a car anymore. So not only are you broke, okay, you don't have wheels anymore, so you can't get to your job or whatever it is. And it's just terrible, just all around really not good. So stay away from car title loan places 100%. The next debt trap that I want to talk about is income tax refund loans. These are short-term secured loans from tax preparation services. Essentially the kind of collateral that they get is they're going to use your income tax that you expect from the government as collateral if you don't pay them back. They are super outrageous when it comes to interest rates and fees, and they can range from anywhere from like 65% in interest to like 780 in interest. And like, for example, a $500 loan, I looked this up earlier, a $500 loan can be like $197 in fees and interest, which is ridiculous when you could just wait a little bit, and then get your taxes back and then spend that way. I mean, I get it, people are hard on times, but guys, you guys really have to start saving and stop putting yourselves in such a bind. And that brings us to one of the last debt traps that we have, which are credit cards. And I know what you're saying.
Credit cards are very smart and efficient. And Robert, you talk about credit cards all the time and how you only use your credit card.
Right. And that's true. They can be. But if you don't know what you're doing, you might screw it up, and you're going to leave yourself in a bigger hole, and you're going to have to pay so much money in interest, right? And then you're in a bigger hole than what you need to be. And I say this over and over again. Credit cards are great. Credit cards 100%. If you know what you're doing, I believe that you should have a credit card, and you should put all your purchases on it. But you have to be smart about it. If you're not, then there's no point in doing it. I use my credit card because I have to pay $0 in interest, and I get additional perks. But if you're not doing that, then guys, it's just a waste of time. But when it comes down to it, the worst type of debt has to just be the ones that you can't pay on time. If you don't pay any of these loans on time, your credit scores are going to suffer. Your balances are going to grow larger. You might get sued from some creditors, and you're paying so much money in interest when you could be doing other stuff with it. And you may find yourself borrowing even more as you're trying to keep up with your payments. I've seen people put credit card payments on a credit card, and it's just terrible, and it's really not going to help you in the long run. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Please make sure to like this video, subscribe, make sure to turn on the notifications. Please leave me a comment and say which one that you guys think is the worst, because I would really like to know, because I'm the one that made the list and kind of put them in some sort of particular order. But I hope you guys have a wonderful night or day or wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.